Everybody's got the colors on, yelling, go, team, go. We got bacon wrapped shrimp and delicious cheese grits. A sweet corn casserole that just won't quit. We got all kind of beer and plenty of whiskey. The game on the flat screen and the girls are getting frisky. Just another game day down on the Gulf of Mexico. Everybody's got the colors on, yelling, go, team, go. Saturday morning and game day on, we're checking all the scores on our new iPhone. Fire in the smoker, it's all just right. It's gonna be a great big party tonight.
Seth Small, 10 of 11 on the year, from 28 yards away for an Aggie upset win. And it's good. He got it.
"41-38, the 12th man, or as they're known here on Unrivaled Sports, the 7th man, showed up, and the Aggies upset the Tide in College Station. And man, I got to tell you, that was just from the start of that game, it was one of those that you just kind of felt it, like it was coming. You could kind of tell the way they were scheming on defense. At Alabama, that they weren't firing on all cylinders, and no matter how you break it down, it's a loss. It goes in the L column and really shakes things up, makes a path for some other teams to possibly get in the top 4, depending on how the rest of the season goes. So, anyways, welcome into Unrivaled Sports tonight. It's a solo show. Major is finally getting back, being able to move into his house after Hurricane Sally, and so he's kind of taking tonight off to get some things moved around, and we're really happy for him on that. So, but we couldn't let this go this week. We couldn't just not show up after Alabama losing. I mean, that would just not be what we would want to do. So. We are going to get things started. There's a lot of college football on this week. Really, I mean, Auburn kind of struggled with Georgia. Georgia's defense really starting to prove that they're probably one of the best, not only the best in the nation, but possibly best ever. A lot of people are comparing it to that 2011 Georgia defense. Honestly, we really just got to see more. We have to see more from them, other than just playing East teams. I mean, I know that they beat Arkansas, they beat Auburn, and neither of those two offenses did anything on the Georgia D. But I mean, they're not really, I mean, it is what it is. Arkansas turned around and lost to a team with no defense in Ole Miss. Now Auburn's other loss is on the road to Penn State. And they can put up points. They've shown they can put up points against teams like Alabama State and Akron. So I just kind of want to see more out of Georgia and their defense. Not taking anything away from them, but that's just kind of how it is. Big Ten's really shaping up. I don't know if anybody caught that Nebraska Michigan game while I was wallowing in self pity. Uh, Caught a few other games that were on, and that Michigan Ohio State game's looking pretty good. Michigan and Penn State. Penn State loses their quarterback to injury, and they end up dropping that game to Iowa. So I mean, it's just you know, just kind of a wild week. A lot of teams dropping and moving in the top 25. So we're just letting some people get in here, and we're gonna do a lot of chatting tonight. Kind of rely on the chat boards and whatnot to kind of fill the show up. I don't even know if we've got a video. I don't have anybody in here monitoring it, so I hope that okay. Yeah, we're looking halfway decent. So yeah, man. Other news other than the Bama loss. Both the Red Sox Braves have punched their ticket to the championship series. Yeah, just missing Major. Major's not here, but he is in spirit and in seventh man form. Yeah, last night the Braves battled back from down two. Uh, got some key base hits, got some good base rate, got some runners on. Then they give up two more runs. They tie the game at two. They give up a couple more runs. It's 4-2. And they come back in and when they tie it back up at four, and then MV Free gets up to the plate, and I really don't know how they haven't just given this guy whatever he wants money wise, and signed the contract already. But he gets up there and he takes Hader deep, and saw the stat last night. This is uh, the first home run given up by Hader to a left-handed batter this year. So, I mean, that was a very clutch hit by Freddie to come in, take the lead. Luke Jackson comes in, or I think that was the eighth, though. It went to the ninth. Will Smith comes in, three up, three down, and that's all she wrote. The Braves move on to the NLDS or NLCS, and they await the winner of the Giants Dodgers, who finish things up tonight, I think, or tomorrow. And it could be. I think it is tonight. Um, I need to get a MLB update. But yeah, I would like to see the Red Sox and Braves too in the World Series. Unfortunately, uh, I do not see anybody making it past the Dodgers or the Giants. I mean, I guess the Braves probably could. I mean, they're playing good baseball at the right time, but so are the Dodgers and so are the Giants. So it'll be real interesting to see how things shape up in the rest of the yeah. To Thursday, they play Game 5 on Thursday tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, and we'll know the winner of that one. I guess it's gonna be the Red Sox and the Astros. So you've got you know the garbage can cheaters. Major, I left my notes at home, so I did all that work, emailed it to you, and now I can't get into it. So everybody can just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. Just trying to get some stuff pulled up here. All right. So yeah, after the Braves and the Red Sox kind of punched their ticket, that kind of wraps things kind of up. I mean, you're gonna see you're gonna see a very good series, I believe, between the Astros and the Red Sox. And I kind of just have this feeling it's gonna be the Dodgers. I'd like to play the Giants, honestly. I don't want any part of the Dodgers in October, as a Braves fan. And honestly, I really don't want. I don't want to play the Giants either. So, I mean, it is what it is. But looking forward to it. Some other news around the professional sports. We saw John Gruden make an exit from a $100 million contract amidst some emails that surfaced over the course of the last 10 years, which is, in my opinion, absolutely ridiculous. But the Raiders are now without a head coach, and I think a lot that locker room is kind of taken back by it. And it's going to be interesting to see where the Raiders go from here. I really kind of thought that he was going to be able to get through this and come out on the other side and just kind of get his team refocused. And I really thought the Raiders had a very good chance of making the playoffs this year. They have a lot of good talent. They are in a tough division, but it is what it is. That I know that there's a lot of aggravated players in that locker room. One of them even took a personal day today. I can't remember the guy's name. So, we were able to get caught up on our pick'em. I was excited about that. I kind of made a few things easier on myself, but congratulations to the winners of week 5 and 6. Week 7 has been posted since Monday, and we have been getting a ton of new people hopping on the pick'em. So welcome. We're excited about that. We hope these people can kind of get plugged into the show, and hope they enjoy it. Normally we're a 2-man crew, but just one tonight. I guess looking over the high school stuff a lot, we had a couple teams in action this week here locally. Pretty much all of Baldwin County. They're kind of playing each other now, so these, we're not playing so many away games, like out of uh, area games. Gulf Shores went out to Saraland and got beat 41-16. I updated my notes and had all the who they're going to play next week, but I'm running off some old notes here. Gulf Shores at Saraland lost 41-16. Orange Beach with a big win at home. No, correction, they were at Washington County, but they won 44-13. Foley over Davidson, 35-31. Fairhope, who is 6-1 now, 6-1 in 7A ball, went on the road and beat Theodore 21-12. Daphne beat Montgomery 28-14. I think Montgomery is actually coming back down here. Or was that? Yeah, I think they're coming back down here to play Foley this week. So you're going to have Foley and Montgomery. Robertsdale with a tough loss at McGill-Tulane, 38-31. Actually, that was at home. That was in Robertsdale. And they hung with McGill right there at home. Spanish Fort was over Blunt, 34-26. And Baldwin County, who just keeps surprising me this year, 63-0 over Citronelle. And that team is just clicking, and excited to see how they kind of fare over the rest of the season, getting into the rest of the area play and then into the playoffs. So yeah, that was kind of the rundown of we had professional sports and our prep sports. I mean, all we really got, there's not a lot of back and forth here tonight, so we're just going to dive right into it. Week 7, the pick'ems I mentioned are up. I think it's a decent slate of games. There's a lot of people with bye weeks. This week, we got UCF at Cincinnati, Michigan State at Indiana, Oklahoma State at Texas. Good chance here for Texas to bounce back after just crapping the bed again in the Red River Shootout. Auburn at Arkansas. That was a very controversial game last year between these two, so it's going to be interesting now. It's going to be in Fayetteville, but kind of interested to see these two teams. You really don't think Sam Pittman's going to let Arkansas drop three in a row the way they opened the season. But this is a good chance to kind of like let Bo kind of settle back in, stop running for his life so much. Auburn's offensive line can step up big here. Auburn's defensive line's playing probably is just as good as anybody in the conference right now, minus Georgia. But their defensive line's playing pretty well. I don't know where I am on that game yet. I kind of feel like Arkansas has the edge, and I don't know. I think they have the better offense, and I mean, if push comes to shove, you got to score more points, and just think Arkansas has the upper hand there. Florida at LSU, and that is gonna. I mean, honestly, after the Alabama game, I thought that the Florida LSU game, seeing how Florida was playing, was going to be a blowout. But just watching Florida here lately, Dan Mullen's play calling, not getting very good play out of the quarterback, and just a ton of penalties. I don't know where that game's going to go. Obviously, you think Florida's going to win it on the road, but I mean, I guess LSU could win, um, but just the way I think that team's just quit altogether. They've quit on Orgeron. Uh, they had the guy that plays behind Stingley Jr. He's out for the rest of the year now. Says he's going to have surgery for a nagging injury, but it really kind of just feels like they've quit the season down in Baton Rouge. Uh, Kentucky at Georgia, that's the big one. I don't think Kentucky has a chance in that game. I don't think it'll even be close. I could be wrong. I mean, I have been a majority of the time this year. I do think Kentucky. I do think that Mark Stoops has got them playing really good, and that Kentucky is a good football team. I think it's going to be too much on the road in Athens. I just don't see them being able to produce the points to beat Georgia. Um, I mean, like I said, Georgia's defense, they're starting to compare it to the 2011 defense. This will be a major test because I do think that Kentucky has a pretty good offense. So we can see. I mean, Kentucky turns the ball over a lot, and you can't do that against a team like Georgia. So it'd be interesting to see. Purdue's at Iowa. That could be a kind of a trap game for Iowa. If Purdue holds on to the football and doesn't turn it over, they have a very good chance of winning that game. BYU at Baylor. Alabama at Mississippi State is a bounce back game. This is a get your head on right game. This is let's go out and show the country what we're going to do, what we're supposed to do, and that everybody's just sleeping on us kind of game. And I really kind of think that Alabama comes out and, I mean, they're going to cover. I think that number opened at 22. That's down to about 17.5 right now. I just think that I think Alabama's going to make a statement here. They really don't have an option. If they come out and they keep this game's close and they struggle it in Starkville, they're going to have some closed doors meetings with the assistants and try to figure out, like, get on the same page as coordinators, players, coaches, everything, because they should come out and they should handle Mississippi State. I don't care who's quarterbacking at Mississippi State. I don't care what kind of offense they have. Alabama should handle them fairly well this week, and make a statement as hey, we got it from here. And I'll kind of dive into that in a little bit because I do have some things I want to talk about with Alabama. TCU at Oklahoma. I see Major's got the red light special on Oklahoma. I think so. I think this is a big game for the new quarterback, Caleb. I can't think of his last name. I'm not sure. There's so much drama going on over there right now. Riley, the coach. I mean, he closed practices to the media today because some student reporter climbed up on a building and could tell where the backup quarterback, the Caleb kid, was taking reps with the number one. He just shut practice down. So it's kind of weird. I do think TCU's gonna, it's gonna be in Norman. So, I've seen that story before. The backup quarterback comes in and he takes over the game, and everybody thinks, oh, that's it, just like T.J. Finley at Auburn. I mean, same thing, but Bo went next week against LSU and won the football game single handedly, pretty much with his scrambling abilities. So, I mean, I've seen this before that they don't they go back and they watch tape on the backup now, and then TCU comes out and they've got an answer for him because they've been preparing for him all week, and it may not be as good. I don't know what's going on with Spencer Rattler, but you know, I mean, that's another thing. It's just I don't know where his head's at. They've kind of already started talking about looking into the pros and Caleb Williams. Uh, so I don't know if he'll stick around and go to the transfer portal or not. Let's look. Who else we have on the pick'ems this week? And yeah, I mean everybody get in here and share this pick'em. I mean, just send it. All you have to do is go to share post, click on your messenger, and just send it to anybody you think would like to get in on a pick'em with football. I mean, we're not a closed group. We're trying to grow it, and I think this is a great way people to get in here and make your picks. I mean, you can keep up. I saw somebody kind of keeping up with their record versus a friend of theirs, and they're, hey, I got you by one. I mean, and that's fun. I mean, yeah, we do the $25 gift card, and that's a lot of fun. But just people getting in and being a little competitive within the group is awesome. Ole Miss at Tennessee, the homecoming game for Lane Kiffin, first time back in Knoxville. Uh, NC State, and this game too. I think the number's like 82. The over under on that's 82 points. I mean, that is just when have you ever seen 82 points be the total in an SEC game? I mean, I thought we played defense in this conference. But apparently not. Let's see. NC State at Boston College, UCLA at Washington, and Arizona State at Utah. So that is your Charlie O's Best Buys college football pick'em week 7, and really appreciate Charlie sponsoring that and getting the gift cards for everybody. And we've got gift cards going out to our winners so far, and we're just going to keep this thing rolling. So let's see who all is in the live so far. We got 6 in. Y'all talk to me. James, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen with Penn State moving forward now that they've lost their quarterback? Is there a timeline for his return, or is he out for the season? Steven, I see you in there. Go Dogs, man! I hate to say it. I mean, 1980 is about to be a blast from the past. I mean, nobody's gonna remember that 1980 anymore. If Alabama can't trip you up in the SEC championship game, I don't really see anybody right now. Ohio State may be the best competition. So we'll see. NC State, yeah, I kind of like that NC State game. Who are they playing? I think I picked against them. I just said Boston College. I mean, who's the favorite in that game? I would think it's NC State. So yeah, so that's. I wish I had Major here to talk some Auburn football because I didn't watch much of the Auburn game. I mean, and anything that I did watch was quickly overshadowed by the Alabama game coming on and going the way that it did. But no timeline for the return. Okay, yeah, Penn State's got the bye this week. That's right. Well, I mean, all you can do for a rib injury is rest anyway. So this is good for him. Get him some time. Let him heal up, and I know you've got Michigan, Ohio State, and and Penn State. All right, we're gonna take a. Why don't you call me? All right, we're calling in our Auburn affiliate.
Yo,
Hey,
am I live?
if they can hear you,
If they can hear me,
yeah.
I don't know. Kristen's trying to watch it, but hey, man, Auburn's offensive line is horrible. We're gonna talk Auburn football for a minute. Uh, Auburn's offensive line is horrible. I don't know if they get the job done against Arkansas this week. Uh, Arkansas looks pretty good. I think whoever's got the better offensive line in that's going to win that ball game. So I think Arkansas wins that ball game. I don't think Bo can play out of his mind enough to win that ball game.
No, and that's kind of what I was thinking. That offensive line's got to get him some help and some protection. And honestly, I think Arkansas has the better the. I mean, I think they have the better quarterback, the better offense. Um, and I do think their offensive line's better. I mean, they haven't given up too terribly many sacks this year. Uh, so we'll see. I mean, it's one of those. Was an 11 a.m. game in Fayetteville.
Yeah,
Those always go really weird when Alabama plays over there.
Yeah, and Auburn, them 11 o'clock games usually give them trouble too. So we're gonna see what Bo can do this week and what the defense can do. But I think that Arkansas offense is gonna be a little bit too much for Auburn, even though the defense is playing pretty well right now. Uh, I think I think Arkansas wins that. I hate to say it, but and I just want to tell everybody while we're live, I'm sorry I'm not there tonight. Just had too much going on tonight. And this evening trying to get this house done. So I will be back next week, and I will be caught up and ready to go. And we may have a new spot to do the show at next week if we're set up. So I appreciate you calling me. Just want to tell everybody I love my War Eagle, Auburn Tigers always, but Arkansas wins it this week, and go Red Sox.
Yeah, I will be pulling for the Red Sox in that series. I do not like the Astros.
No, we don't want no garbage can beaters up there in the World Series again.
No, I got enough Astro car. I can start a bonfire in my backyard.
That'd probably be the best thing to do with Astros cards.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you're getting back in the house, and I hate you're not here tonight, but I understand, and we'll get together and we'll do it again next week.
Yep, we'll do it again next week. Everybody, y'all have a good weekend. Enjoy your college football. War down Eagle, and go Red Sox.
All right, man. Talk to you later. That was Major Null on the. I mean, we don't have a sponsor. The Bud Light Hotline, the Miller Lite Hotline. I think Bud Light Hotline's taken by another radio show. So yeah, I mean, you heard it. I mean, Auburn's offensive line's really gonna kind of be the key factor. If they get in there and they get gelled and they let Bo be Bo, and Bo can get his feet planted and he can make some throws. The guy's got a killer arm. I mean, he's got the talent. He just when he's running for his life. I mean, and you see some of his best throws come when he's on the run. So I mean, uh, it's really just gonna boil down to into what the offensive line does, and then I mean, like I said, I think Auburn's defensive line's playing just as good as any other team in the conference right now, and but minus Georgia. And Steven, I see where you saw. Thought he played the dog. I mean, I think you're right. I mean, 34-10. The 34-10 was a big score, but I mean, it was not an easy game for Georgia. You can't say Georgia just walked right through that game. So yeah, I mean, I think Major's kind of jumping on the Arkansas upset. When I say it's an upset, I mean both these teams are pretty equal. But I think this is a game Auburn can win. It's just they've got to play a whole football game. They've got to play together, and that offensive line's got to protect Bo a little bit. I think the defense will be fine. So yeah, in Tank we trust. Yeah, Tank is not have. That's another thing. Tank, it really is kind of underimpressed this year. I've heard people say he's playing hurt. I've heard people say that's a lie, and I'm not really sure what's going on with Tank. But he preseason. I mean, he was the guy. He was probably, they were saying one of the best players in the SEC. So maybe Tank gets it going this week, and I mean, if Auburn gets the run game going, And that's part of the problem. Part of it comes back full circle is that offensive line. That may be part of the problem. Tank isn't getting a lot of yards in the game. So with it being 11 o'clock, I will definitely get to watch the Auburn game this week. I'm not going to say that I care, but I will say that I get to watch it. And so, yeah, I've managed to sit here and talk for 36 minutes. Imagine that. Well, moving on to the game that you know, at the beginning of the year was predicted it was going to be a top 5 matchup. I mean, all Texas A&M had to do was beat uh, Arkansas and beat Mississippi State, and then they're rolling it. Alabama rolls into College Station as a number one. Texas A&M's guaranteed to be at top 5 at that point. Just and I'll tell you what really irks me, and I stay on Jimbo pretty hard. I don't like Jimbo Fisher. I don't think Jimbo Fisher's a really that good of a coach. And I know what everybody's going to start saying is, "Oh, he's a salty Bama fan. Look at him. He's good enough to beat Saban." Alabama got in their way for the entire game. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The crowd played a factor. I mean, we outgained them in yardage. I mean, go look. Outgained them in yardage. I think we held them under 100 yards rushing. Or maybe we did. Maybe just went over 100 yards. But here's my thing: is that everybody, from all we heard after Alabama loses that game, is, "Oh, Jimbo Fisher just outcoached Saban. He outcoached him. He outcoached him. He outcoached him. He outcoached him." And you're right. For that 60 minutes, schematically, they had things figured out. They had a good game plan. This is where he didn't. If Jimbo Fisher was such a good coach, he wouldn't have had 3 weeks, because it's very clear that since the Colorado game, when their quarterback got hurt, that it was they thought they could just walk through Arkansas and Mississippi State. They circled the Alabama game. They started preparing for the Alabama game then. He's been scheming for that game and putting a game plan together for weeks, for 3 weeks. And I get it. He, at the beginning of the year, they're like, here's $9 million, go beat Alabama. Nothing else matters in College Station. The SEC West does not matter to Jimbo or anybody in College Station. It's about beating Alabama right now. I don't think, I've said it on here before, I've made it very known, Jimbo Fisher's never going to play for an SEC championship. He's never going to play for a national championship in the SEC. It's not going to happen. He had the same thing Gus Malzahn had, and that, or not Gus, I'm sorry, Gene Chizik, and that was, and you could really say the same thing about Ed Orgeron. This was supposed to be Texas A&M's best team. Jimbo Fisher won a national championship with Jameis Winston. Gene Chizik won a national championship with the coordinator Gus Malzahn and Cam Newton. Ed Orgeron, Joe Brady, and Joe Burrow. So I've seen this before, and I think that if Jimbo Fisher was such a great coach, I mean, he would be number one in the West right now. He would be number one in the West right now had that team handled business the way they were supposed to. But they didn't. They circled this game back in the offseason, and that's their whole season rode on this one game. They could lose out. They could lose out, and you're not going to hear anything. I guarantee you this game this coming week's a lot closer against Missouri at 11 a.m. And it's going to be cold, and I guarantee you that game's closer than what everybody thinks. They only opened up as a 7-point favorite over Missouri. Don't tell me that he's just I get it. And he didn't just outcoach Saban. Our coordinators, our play calling was horrible. I don't know what Bill O'Brien thought he was the guy. I don't get it. He used to run the ball at Penn State. He used to run the ball at Texas, in Houston. I don't know why all of a sudden that he was just like, all right, let's just throw it, because obviously Texas A&M was not stopping the run, but First and goal, let's throw it. Second and goal, they're going to expect the run. Let's throw it. Third and goal, they know we're going to run it. Let's throw it. I just don't get it. Brian Robinson was getting 4 yards a carry. 4 yards. He was averaging 4 yards a carry up until that point. I don't know. I think he finished with more than 4 yards, average 4 yards of carry. And I have no clue. I don't know what that breakdown. But I was upset. I mean, yeah, I didn't want to see Alabama lose. I kind of felt we were when I woke up that morning. I was like, it's one of those days, and that's fine. But let me tell you why it's fine. Nick Saban has been preaching all year about this Alabama team. Lack of intensity, not playing the full 60 minutes, and he's preached it. He's preached it. This team needs to keep the intensity. They need to finish. They need to keep the intensity. They need to be aggressive, and they're not. And I really think that watching Saban, it was just kind of one of those moments where I was like, if Saban wanted to change the play calls on the goal line, he could have. There was a lot of drop balls. Nobody was really on their A game. But if he wanted to challenge if he wanted to challenge those coordinators during the middle of the game, he could have, and he would. He's done it before. It happens. Saban has final say over just about everything that happens during those games. So, but I guarantee you the message in that locker room after that was like, "Are y'all ready to listen now?" He even said it in the press conference. Everybody remember how this feels, because he's not stupid. He knows. That team, and the message all week has been, the standard, the Alabama standard, why you come to Alabama, and it's about getting back and trusting the process. Jimbo said it in his press conference, and it irked me. That the process is Saban's process, and it's time for everybody to start kind of in that locker room to start getting back on board with the process. So, Nick Saban's only had 2 undefeated teams in the entire time he's been in Alabama. He's got 6 national championships. So, or 7. How many has he got now? He's got 7 nationals. I think he's got 7 national championships. Yeah, we've only had 2 undefeated seasons since Saban's taken over, and both of those resulted in national championships. But he's also won 5 with just lose. It's really hard to go undefeated in college football. I mean, it really is, because any Saturday you can walk into an atmosphere like Alabama did twice already in Gainesville and College Station, and you're going to get the best game out of that team. I mean, look at Florida. That's the thing, is everybody's like, oh yeah, they struggled against Florida. I mean, look, when Alabama comes to town, that they're going to get that team's best game. Same goes for A&M. I don't think they have a chance, James. Mac, I don't think they have it. I don't think there's a chance. I don't even think it's close. I think the number's 22.5 right now, and I'd be all over it. Just don't see it. So, but yeah, I think Bama wakes up this week. I think it's bad. It's a bad weekend for Mississippi State. Whatever they're wanting to try to do. I just think Bama's going to kind of come in there and just handle business. It may be loud. They're going to have the cowbells going. It's a 6 o'clock game. But no, I don't think that's going to very much matter. Alabama's going to get back to running the ball. They're going to kind of clean some things up on the offensive side as far as catches. Too many drop passes. I mean, just too many drop passes. And I defensively, if you follow, like, if you're an Alabama fan and you listen to, and I do, because I'm in the car a lot, so I constantly am waiting on after practice press conferences and interviews. And Will Anderson this weekend, or Monday, he came out and said it. He was like, I had the same message after the Florida game, and nobody listened. I mean, it's just like we've got to, everybody's got to get focused. And he said that when you come to Alabama, football is the most important thing. It has to be, and he said it's gonna be. He said that's the standard, and it's gonna be that. And Evan Neal kind of brought that up. Brian Robinson's been very vocal. You got some big leaders on that side of the ball, and or on in that locker room with these guys. And I think this is going to kind of be a turning point, and we're going to see. Yeah. I mean, I'd take them by 30. I mean, I'd like to see it. I don't think it'll quite be 30 major, but it's going to be a big number. I but it and the reason I kind of got off on that is it's every you listen to any sports show, you listen to you read any Facebook comment, and it's Bama's dead. They're dead. It's over. You know they're just they're just horrible. It's the end of the world. Alabama lost one game. It's the end of the world. And that's kind of shows you where we're at. I mean, I wasn't happy with it, but I mean, you got to kind of be able to take your losses, I mean, but it's just so frustrating seeing all these Bama fans just crying and crying. It's like, guys, like trust the team, like and I see like even Steen right now, like fire Pete Golden. I mean, why? I mean, I don't necessarily think it's all on him. I think the players have not been focused. I understand it's the coach's job to make sure they're focused, but I don't really know if I don't really know if firing Pete Golding. I mean, I think the guy's a pretty decent coach. I know a lot of people disagree with me. I think Pete Golding's a fine defensive coordinator, and I mean he's been there since Pruitt left. So I mean, we've had some pretty good defenses. I mean, I think the guys got to focus and they got to wake up and they got to play to that Alabama standard of football, and they're going to be fine. I don't see any scenario where Alabama loses another game this year. If they go out and they handle business, Alabama's going to be favored by 17 easy for the rest of the year. I mean, I had people today, national people, even the line in Vegas. If Alabama and Georgia played on a neutral site today, Alabama's a 3-point favorite. Explain that to me. I don't get it. But I mean, I just think that's the brand. That's the Alabama standard. And if this team can play to that standard, which they can, they have plenty of talent. Then that's what you're going to see. You're going to see Alabama, Georgia, and it's gonna be a dogfight. No pun intended. Yeah, I mean, I do think that Georgia has a lot of speed. I mean, Bulldogs aren't really technically that fast. I mean, I think it's actually a pretty pudgy and slow dog. But in this scenario, yeah, they are fast, and I don't think they're going to wear Bama out. I do think that right now there's a lot of football left to be played. Um, I mean, I don't think that. I don't think. I think. Well, I mean, yeah, if they played this weekend, I think. I mean, obviously, I think Georgia would probably win. Uh, but yeah, uh, that's it. Yeah, I mean, it's entitled players. Yeah, and they have been kind of weak. I really think that I thought that Toto was really kind of sharpen things up. He's just kind of underimpressed this year. I mean, I was kind of expecting him to come in, have 10, 12 tackles a game, and we're not getting that out of him. What we did have some injuries on the linebacker side, but we'll see. I mean, I think Alabama's going to be fine, and that's what I wanted. That was my main point. Is I wasn't all depressed and beat up about it. I mean, yeah, losing sucks. Uh, but I mean, at least we're not LSU. I mean, at least we didn't win. At least we don't win a national championship, and then 21 months removed, your coach is on his way out because the team's quit on him because it's just that bad right now in Baton Rouge. So yeah, I guess I don't know. I just kind of think see Will Levis is the turnover machine. But yeah, but James, I kind of bet you wish Penn State still had Will Levis. especially now that what's his name's hurt. And yeah, I mean, I doubt I'm gonna lose in fantasy. I'm gonna make sure that I take you out. But yeah, I mean, guys, this has actually been a quick, pretty quick hour. I don't know if everybody was on when I was talking about the pickums. Really go to the pickums post and just share it with your football buddies. Share it around your office. Share it to your coworkers. Just let them know, like, hey, this is a little pick'em. Every week, $25 gift card. It's a fun way to get people involved in the show. I mean, we still got some things we want to do for the prep side of things. We really want to get more involved with the high school sports down here, and unfortunately, just time constraints have kept us from doing that. Uh, but that is something we want to do. Me and Major talk pretty much. I mean, other than the show we do, when we talk about what we want to do with this show weekly, and we've got some things coming up. We've got some things we want to do that I know that'll happen, especially around bowl season. Bowl season is going to be fun. I know he wants to do the squares for the Alabama Auburn game this year. I think we'll do maybe $5 a square, $10. I think it was $5 a square is what we talked, but yeah, we were favored over A&M. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, if you kind of missed that, I kind of covered that already, John. Yeah, Bama was favored by 18 and a half against A&M, and it was. I mean, it was. But I promise you that atmosphere, uh, the atmosphere at 7 o'clock in College Station this past Saturday with #1 Alabama was and it was the second largest sellout in Texas A&M history. They had over 105,000 there. I guarantee that atmosphere was maybe just a little bit better for an 11 a.m. kick against Mississippi State. I mean, that's just my guess. Um, but yeah, that is what it is. Jimbo was obviously looking at. I mean, that how come when Al, we hear about this stuff, nobody talks about Jimbo looking past Mississippi State and looking ahead. He dropped two in a row because he didn't have his players focused, because everybody in that locker room, everybody in that facility had Alabama circled. I mean, that's not too far fetched to think. And I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, I could be making excuses. I don't like Jimbo Fisher, and that's why I don't think that he's that good of a coach. And I think that he did. I think that he had this game circled in the offseason. And I mean, if you look, they were not impressive against Colorado. I don't care. Alabama could play their second string quarterback and probably beat Colorado by 7 touchdowns. I mean, there's no way you keep it that close. It's 49 points. I don't think Colorado scores against Alabama at all. I mean, it just don't happen. As bad as Alabama's defense was the other night, I don't think Colorado scores. They struggled against Colorado. They come home, they get beat by, or they go on the road, they get beat by Arkansas. They come home, they get beat by Mississippi State, and all of a sudden, Zach Calzada has Stephen Garcia moment. Throws the best game of his life, and that's it, because we're gonna get their best game, just like this weekend. Mississippi State's they're ready for us. Mississippi State's played like 3 11 a.m. kickoffs in a row. This is like the first home game they've got to play at night. So they're gonna be drunk, and the cowbells are gonna be ringing. It's gonna be a crazy atmosphere, and we're gonna get their best game. I mean, it's gonna happen. And then the week after that, we play Tennessee, and I guarantee you, we get Tennessee's best game. That's what. There is no. It's different. You don't go. I mean, and I understand. I mean, but and I'll say something. I'll piss somebody off here in a minute, but. Did you say NBA on my show, Major? No, we ain't talking about no NBA. LeBron James. That's all I know about the NBA. The flopper. But yeah, I mean, I think Alabama's gonna be just fine against the Bulldogs in Stark Vegas. I mean, I think they'll be just fine. I think they'll get it together. And see, that's another thing is Bama's not allowed to be off a game. Everybody hates Alabama, but when they lose, oh my God, it's the greatest thing in the world. But I mean, they can't be that good. They can't be that good because now they got to go on the road and play another team. I mean, it's every week we play the same teams, that everybody else does. And like I said, I guarantee you, Texas A&M goes to Missouri this weekend. That honestly, that Texas A&M team that played Alabama should probably beat Missouri by 28 points, and that's low. I'd go 35. I could see that game being somewhere between 42-10, and and it's not going to happen. Missouri's probably going to keep that thing close. It may break away later in the game, but um, I mean Texas A&M. I mean they're still playing. I mean Zach Calzada. All that did was give him a little bit of confidence. So we'll see. I mean, and that's what we'll be here next Wednesday. And if Alabama loses, then I'll be here and I'll try to back that up. But I've seen this game before. I've watched it for the last 15 years, and I'm not saying Alabama's going to win a national championship, but I don't think you count them out either. And I think that's everybody's mistake right now is they want to count Alabama out, and that it's just not Alabama's year. And it's been proven time and time again that once you start sleeping on Alabama, it gets bad. And we are the home of biased opinions and unrealistic expectations. So I think that I'm well within my realms to say all of that. But yeah. So what else? What else y'all want to talk about? See, the big thing for Alabama fans, the big thing for me on Saturday is: do I watch Alabama destroy Mississippi State, or do I watch the Braves? I mean, that's kind of that. They're both. I think the Braves' first pitch is at 5 o'clock. And no, yeah, I think Georgia has a big shot. I haven't said anything like that at all. I do think Georgia's the best team in the country. They definitely have the best defense in the country, and I mean we'll see. That game's going to take place in December. Like we're going to have to see it. And if Alabama has to win the SEC now to get into the top four, in my opinion. I don't think you have a two-loss Alabama in the top four this year. Uh, Ohio State's kind of getting things going. We've been talking about Stroud and how he's kind of come back. I think Ohio State's going to be in there. I doubt Oklahoma. I see Oklahoma dropping one or two at some point. Uh, I really thought, yeah, yeah. Bobby's gone. Bobby Cox has been gone for a long time. Brian Snitker has taken him back to back to back to back playoff appearances and back to back championship series. So, yeah, I think I mean, we'll see in December how these teams line up on the field. I still think, like I said earlier, I think it'll be. I mean, if Alabama can get focused, they're going to be fine. I don't, my thing was just everybody wants to start counting them out, and that's including Alabama fans. I mean, every year when Alabama loses a game, the fans just like it's. I mean, the whole state goes on suicide watch, and it's getting ridiculous. Like let's just lose a game. I think we needed to lose that game. Honestly, I think the fans needed it. The players definitely needed it. Some of those coordinators needed it. That you don't just get to come here from the NFL and get thrown into an offensive coordinator position and just going to win. You get the best talent. You get the best players in the country coming to this program. You still can't be complacent. You still have to have a good game plan. And I think Bill O'Brien's going to learn that pretty quick this week. Yeah, I think TCU gets Oklahoma this week, and I think they got to play Oklahoma State in was that Bedlam. So right now, your second string QB is in, Stephen. Garfield the third, or whatever his name is. And by then, y'all have JT Daniels back. And, you know. Oh, I get what you're saying. Maybe we can put Probably not. I mean, I guess you could. I guess that could happen there since they both have started experience. I know what you're referencing the second 26 national championship game, which is my background at work. Forever will be my favorite. So, but guys, we've been on here for about an hour. Like I said, it's been just me tonight. Major's getting had the night off, moving to the new house. I'll be looking forward to having him next week, just so I have somebody to talk to and you know. But this is still fun. This has been a blast, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I want to give a shout out. I know Austin he ain't even been in the comments, but Austin Carpenter over at Budget Blinds hooked us up with some equipment, and we really appreciate him. Just being a supporter of the show, and like I said, he's the blind guy. I mean, you got the dog that gets up and rips your blinds down, or you just moved into a house and you're getting tired of that guy looking at what you're doing in your living room every night. Call Austin Carpenter. He'll get you set up with some new blinds over from Budget Blinds and get you taken care of. And then Charlie O's Best Buys. Oh, don't forget Charlie O's Best Buys. He sponsors our pick'em every week. He's also kind of hooked us up with a little bit of equipment, and he's always he watches the show. He lets me know how things sound, and what he I get to pick his brain a lot about the technical side of things. So we really appreciate him being a supporter of the show. And if if you're looking around, I know you can throw a rock and hit 15 real estate agents, but if you got somebody that really knows the market and knows the area, and you don't want to fool around with people just looking to get the deal done, give Charlie a call. He'll take care of you. Tell him Joey sent you. I always want to say that. But anyways, guys, Major already got to say War Eagle. God, I can't believe I just uttered that out of my mouth. But we will see you guys next week. Get your picks in. Send your picks to all your, get your picks in. Send it to anybody around the office. Let's just try to grow it. We're going to do like a little share thing where, if you send it and they put their picks in and they comment like, hey, Stephen Dean referred me, then we'll put your name in the hat and all that. So, but yeah, I mean, the more people that get on the pick'em, I think that's a good way to kind of grow the page and grow the group. But next week we will be back fully staffed. Hopefully talking about a couple Braves wins, a couple Red Sox wins, and definitely an Alabama and an Auburn win. So for Major Nall, who is not here, I'm Joey. Roll Tide, and we'll see you guys next week.
Put on the smoke, I got a fat side up. Then it's skinning on the radio, turn it up. Sweet Home Alabama is my favorite song. Got friends and family coming over, they'll stay all night long. Just another game day down on the Gulf of Mexico. Everybody's got the colors on, yelling go team go. We got bacon wrapped shrimp and delicious cheese grits. A sweet corn casserole that just won't quit. We got all kind of beer and plenty of whiskey. Yeah, we got the game on the flash screen and the